Hi everybody. Alright, we're getting this plug ready to make a mold. We put the green fairing material on in the last video. We're sanding that off now. We're going to put a couple of coats of epoxy primer on top of this and then sand that, and then we're going to start making the mold. We're going to get into the molding process, which really cool. You've seen me do all this before. There's no real surprises, so we'll go straight into some Q&A. Question: how how much time do you deal with hangar maintenance? I assume you mean cleaning and stuff like that. That's a good question. So I get bad OCD tendencies. So in order for things to not just make me freak out all the time if I walk in and there's something out of place, I have to just embrace the madness. But the madness can only go on for so long before I just snap one day and like, if I don't clean this place, I'm just going to burn it to the ground instead. If I don't clean right now. Uh, and I just have those days, and it doesn't matter. And it could be, I could be planning to go to the hangar for anything. I could be there for club business. I could be there to work on something specific with the plane. Doesn't matter. I open up the hangar door. I see like one empty can. I just freak out, and then I just got to clean up the entire place. Actually, that's the thing is, I don't freak out, but it goes in that direction where it's because no one's really stopped me. Right? If I want to clean the place, I'm going to clean the place. No one's ever really stopped me from cleaning, and maybe that's the bad part because it's never been faced. It's not like, ooh, you know what? I know I should really clean everything right now. What would happen if I told myself not to? I don't know. So okay, to answer your question, that's up to you. You know, this is a very long project, and if you're one of these people that has to be clean all the time, which I have been that way. You know, it obsesses yourself. And if, let's say, you only have 4 hours to work on your plane, let's say you're lucky and you have a 4 hour work session twice a week, are you going to spend an hour of that each time cleaning? No. Now, you know, cleaning's just like anything else. The longer you go without it, the more you have to do when you do it. But it also just depends on how much time you have. If you only have like, you know, 30 minutes or an hour, like I said, that's sometimes when I pop in. It's like must clean now. I get that pit in the bottom of my stomach. Hope that answers your question. All right, so we're sanding off that first layer. As you can see, it goes on real dark gray. Once you sand it, it gets light gray. Now I sand that down to a 400 grit finish, so that epoxy primer is hard as nails. Uh, and as you can see, it got very runny. As I stand it up on the side, you can see, look on that side, you can see the streaks where I do sand, but it's like it's got like paintbrush lines. It's really bad. So anyway, in order to combat that, here we're cleaning off a little acetone. We're going to go over it, and the second coat, we're going to use a roller. So I've invested in a couple of little 4-inch paint roller handles. They're awesome because they're dirt cheap, and you can get the refills are about 50 cents a piece. Plus, it makes a perfectly smooth finish right on top. You're going to see me. It's pretty sweet. All right, so once this is on, we're going to fast forward into the future and resand that. Let's go over some more Q&A. Real quick there, you can see me using the roller. See how smooth that goes on? Oh yeah, no runny finishes on this one. This coat's gonna be perfect. Here we go. So question is, what's happening behind the panel? Are your avionics wired? Yes, they are wired as far as I know. I'm not putting in the final wire ties to make it like pristine because you never know if you're gonna need to go back in. And until I put the canopy and everything else on, I'm gonna keep it a little bit loose. Yeah, that's true. I think I've gotten everything. It's all pretty checked out. Gotta put the comm antennas back on. Anyway, so we are now moving on to making the actual mold. So what we're doing is we need to sort of find a way to add flanges to the outside. Right? We're using this mold to make a mold of it, but it needs to be a mold that fits in two pieces. So what we've done is I've gotten a box here, and I'm about to cut a hole, and I'll show you a freeze frame here. All right, here you can sort of see the idea that we're going to cut a hole in the box exactly the size of the plug. We're going to put it about halfway through, secure it, and make a mold off of that, which you will start seeing in the next video. So anyway, yeah, in the next video we'll keep going with this, and I'll explain the whole thing. It's pretty simple. Thank you for joining me, everyone, and see you soon.